Hey everybody. We are coming back to this game of pool here. Turn the stream down. How you guys doing? Can you hear everything okay? Yeah, today is casual Friday. No tie today. Because it's Friday. Alright. That needs to chill out just a little bit for me. To turn down all the instances of myself watching my own stream. But I don't think that I'm the only one in here. And that's pretty cool. I appreciate you being here. I think I had a mishap earlier and I went live. I hope you guys didn't see anything that was too personal. But if you did, don't tell anybody. Alright, that's probably all I'll do with advertising this. This is Casual Friday. So we're going to be very casual about it. Alright. I forgot to mention that I got the HUD working. And it does accurately reflect the state of the game. Need a load spinner there. It needs to be ball in hand at first, but I didn't really see which one went in, but apparently player 1 is solids. And I don't know which player is. I'm player 2 right now. So that means I'm stripes. It says so right there. I missed. Let's see. I'm back to being solids again. Ah, so close. I'm not the best at this game at all. Let's see, player 1's turn. Let's just get them all in. Ball in hand. Oh, come on. What's up, guys? Let me know if you're here. Show some love in the chat or say something. Today's Casual Friday. Playing a game that I made. I might fix something with it. I don't know yet. Friday might be too casual for that. I don't want a casual Friday casualty. There we go. I sank one just then. Boom. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Oh, man. That's supposed to end the game. Kind of what I'm trying to do. I could set this up for myself to where I could only end the game. That's probably what I'll do. Boom. Alright, let's do this. Boom. What happened? I guess the game is over. Restart. And now I can't place the ball. I think that's the most crucial right now, is after I restart, I need to be able to place the ball. This is what I was doing before I got on here. HUD updates. If you don't know, HUD is heads-up display. It's not really what we're using it for. It's what I'm using is just place to show which player is which. And then possibly like what the score is. So yeah, that's my HUD. But whenever there's ball in hand, after the game is restarted, I can't seem to click. And I think it's because we have an input function on here, handle input right here. And we have left mouse up if self.ball in hand. Let's just make sure that that is printing right here. Print self ball in hand. Ball's moving. I don't really care about that right now. I'll do cue ball though. There's a chance that could be returning none type or something like that. It's supposed to be obviously returning the cue ball. Let's see what happens with this improvement. So I just restart the game. And I don't see anything. What's the deal? Nothing is being printed. So I can only assume that I'm not even getting here. Yeah, that's correct. It's correct if this is set to true, but I think it is not set to true. Let's print not menu if it's true. All right. We get a lot of not menus. So the question is, what's going on inside of this function, which lives inside of Billiards? Why is it not working properly? We're doing the left mouse down. Excuse me. It's supposed to be setting ball in hand to false when it goes up, but I'm guessing that it doesn't go up in time. I'm wondering if I could just hold the mouse down and then it would be timed properly. Let's see. I'm still holding it right now. Holding it, holding it, holding it. Yeah. That was a good guess, huh? I seem to remember there being a problem if I move it here. Let's see what that is. I can leave that there. I'm trying to think of, I mean, this is literally only for ball in hand right here. Right. Game paused. That's another thing. Shouldn't game paused be set to true at this point? Why isn't it? When I do restart game, game paused should be set to false. Trying to think. Start game. I'm thinking the entire thing here. Start game. We don't need to, on starting the game, we don't need to clear the physics entities or destroy them. But when we do start, when we restart actually, we need to maybe call init. And start game is separately because we don't necessarily want to init and then start. But then I think reinitializing is still a good idea. We're still saying sub. Where did the Twitch chat go? Oh, there it is. How do I pop this out? Hold on. Still getting used to Twitch. There it is. I popped it out. It didn't even hurt. Alright. 15 minutes in. Still nothing really accomplished. But it's the spirit of it that counts, right? I think that it's the spirit of it that counts. And we did do something. And it's Casual Friday, so I'm getting plenty enough done there. So the idea is that calling init on restart game is a good idea. Alright, that was a fail. Looks good. And the reason that it looks good is because it sets all of the variables to what they are at the beginning. So I can call it as many times as I want, and it's exactly like it was at the beginning. So that's a good fix. It's a little bit of a scorched earth one because what I've done is I've taken everything that I had in my constructor and I moved it into a function called init game, and that's the function that I'm also calling, that I just seem to shoehorn in there. I had intended to do it earlier, but I forgot about it. And that's the consequence. The consequence of not doing everything all at once and having like a interrupted, unfocused approach. But enough about me roasting myself. Let's hear you roast me. You can start by this disorganized code. Alright, let's commit the fix that we just did. And all it was calling init game. We don't need that. And I'm saying we don't even need that. Or this. On init game is now on start game. Simply put. And the effect of that is that we have a nice clean slate. So let's get to playing this thing, huh? Alright, I want to make this 8-ball go in. So that's not right. I should not be allowed to... My pool cue should go away right here, in my opinion. It should be like, oh, you lost. Or somebody won. Whoever. But instead, I can just whack it again. That's also a problem. Might be one that I just let slide. But I know that it's related to scaling and the collision detection. See, I'm scaling these 3D models, and then in the collision detection it has no idea what the scale is. So I can either incorporate the scale, fix the 3D model, and remove the scale, which is the preferred method, or just ignore it as if it's not there. What a miss. What a miss. Ah. I'm not very good at billiards. Let's see if we can get this one in. No, we can't even get it in. It's too bad. There we go. Now, I really want to fix the end game. This is where the lose should be set, and it should be right here. And it's just simply, in this game state, is the current player's ball type equal to the 8 ball, which should only happen once you sank all the other balls, which I don't think the logic is in there yet. But I mean, just simply setting the turn disposition lose game right here. Where's the lose game function? I lost it. It's being called, oh, it's right down there. So the turn disposition lose game is not set. Set end game. 8 ball. It's still being referenced, but not being set. Oh, it's right there. Alright, so it is being set. And then calling lose game. This is probably being caught before this somehow. Let's see. When we lose the game, let's like take away the cue ball or something, right? What actually happens? Nothing really. It should say that somebody wins, but it doesn't. So that never gets called. So that means that the set game 8 ball is not set here. Or maybe it gets set and then quickly unset. Should be able to end the game like this. I think that was an end game right there. Just can't see it because the other one that overtakes it. Let me see if I can do something about that. We'll disable the conversational UI for when the turn changes, and I think maybe that will. Oh yeah. Oops. Let's restart. Or was it ball in hand? Yeah, that one's kind of obvious anyway. We don't need that. We gotta have the sub though. We gotta make it say, what's up? What's up? Whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, let's restart it again. Yeah, I know. Let's just go ahead and disable the rest of them, huh? want to see the one that says, the ones that say wins. Oh, it's probably foul. What do you think? Is it foul? Technically, it could be any of them. They're all true. They need to be unqueued, but I'm too lazy to unqueue them. I mean, I want to say technically it's lose game is the only one we need. Oh, and cue ball hit. Yeah, we don't need that one. Trying to make it less noisy. Basically everything that I can do to avoid actually having to do the queuing, which I will have to do eventually. Yeah. Yeah, this is probably just a waste of time for a lot of reasons. You get to learn what procrastination looks like. But it's Friday, so procrastination is okay. What are we doing out here? Yeah, I don't see where else I got to. Game over. Yeah, that's probably appropriate. It's probably what I should do in terms of setting the end game message. Should only be settable. You can't really. There we go. Player 2 wins. Finally. Player 1's turn. Player 2 wins. Yeah, that's the correct message. Slack. Player 2 wins. That's not right. Because slack. A slack. Sorry. Player 1 wins. Player 1 wins. Does player 1 always win? What do you think? Or is it a pretty unbiased distribution? Player 1, player 2. Player 1 seems to be the main character. I think everybody knows that. Everybody with siblings knows player 1 is the main character. And if you're not player 1, you're a different character, an NPC. There we go. Ah. Ball in hand. Oh, come on. Ball in hand. I'm not sure why it keeps saying that. That's not a good thing. Ah, come on. Boom. Oh, man. Alright, I can do this. I think I can do this. Ah, I can't do it. Definitely needs some sound. Alright, here we go. Player 1 wins. I think that's been true the entire time. Like coincidentally. What happened there? How's that one gonna go? Like that, I guess. Seems pretty good in terms of actually like the hits corresponding, the changing directions like they should. Just some tweaks it needs. Just some tweaks it needs. Oof. That was atrocious. I don't know. Do you think I should do the tweaks here? I don't think I should be tweaking on... I don't think I should be tweaking on Twitch. I was told by somebody you should tweak on Twitch. Well, that's it. There's no more game to play. Let's try to whack the crap out of it. There's no gravity, so... Look, there's a ball way over there. That's where all the balls go. I call it ball hell. All the balls that get sent go to ball hell, where they live forever. Whack the oh shit. That happens in real life a lot for me. In pool. Whack. It got stuck in the wall, didn't it? This happens in real life too. I just take the ball with me. Go head out this window. I can't. The extent of this whole universe. Alright, well. Let's see, we have a commit here, I think. Or not, we just got rid of a bunch of stuff. The game logic needs work. Or... something needs work. I don't quite know what it is. Let's see, ball type. This should work. Unless there's some kind of weird case sensitivity issue, which there shouldn't be. It's derived from the same string. I mean, more likely than that, I could do. All right, so that is working. Good. I think that the clearest thing to do after the game is won is to show the menu. So when we have update here, so we have something here. We don't have anything in update about the menu, which we can. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see what we're setting. Universal when we're ending the game. What is the state? We have a couple of turn dispositions. Win game and lose game. So we can game is game over. And it's any of these conditions, but all we care about from the outside is true or false. Is it true or is it false? And the outside is right over here. And that should show the menu when the game is over. Which we can make happen very quickly by scratching on the break. That shows the menu. That works. I'm happy about that. We have to change things a little bit about how we do the lose game function. We're not calling assess turn anymore, which is not a problem at all because all we're doing is calling lose game. That's all it's doing. There's no reason to overthink this. Just to disable the player. then the only option to keep playing will be to click the restart button. Oh, the HUD is messed up. Alright. And then the 8-ball being sunk is not setting the end game. But the other one was. Turn disposition needs to be set by endgame. 8-ball to turn disposition, lose game. Should be happening. Do I have an 8-ball sank in the console? I don't think so. Sank ball Q. Sync ball is being called on main in the update function, which should probably belong on the billiards class, the rest of the game logic. Update is called pretty much every frame, 60 times a second. Called about 60 times every second. So when we are calling is game over, and we're not seeing that we just sank the 8-ball. When is the turn disposition being set? When are the times? So here's one of the times. And these functions right here. What do I think of Devin? I think it's more hype, honestly. I've seen a couple of videos on it at this point, and I'm ready to call it. It's hype. Alright, we might have the culprit right here. We're able to get all the way down here where nothing is said. which this is being called only when a sink is actually happening. Pretty sure it's metered and it will only happen one time per sink. Let's go ahead and clear out some of this garbage. So that we can focus. And when we do send in game 8 ball, or rather just nothing at all, we'll let the UI handle this. Let the UI do its magic. That's what it's there for. So I should see a message. Player 2 wins. And now I can restart. Player 1's turn. Oh, that was pathetic. Much better. And try to get that 8 ball in the hole. A little tappy. What did I do? Oh, it's quitting too early, or I'm losing too early. Oh, I scratched on the brake. That was an actual legit loss. If it would tell me why I lost, that would be a pretty sweet feature. And I was thinking earlier that I should have used some types. You know, types to give me some strings to go with this and that, and whenever I am selecting something, it, like up here in the top, it says player type, solids, whatever. I had to map that by hand. And if that were just housed in a type, what's the string name and all that stuff, then might have a better time. Alright, let's drive that. That was almost a scratch. That was a scratch. Ball in hand. There we go. Not too bad. Alright. Let's hit this. Oh, come on. This game is terrible. Who made this game? There we go. What happened? Nothing. I sank the 8 ball. And nothing happened. I think we have an incy-wincy little logic error here. Maybe not. Ball num is 8. This is only being called on sync. So if I could just print 8 ball when I sync the 8 ball, fine. But also, I know I can sync that cue ball quicker. Let's just say I sync a lot more cue balls than I do 8 balls. It's just an easier and more achievable task. Alright, yeah. Cue ball. What the heck was that? Alright. Ah, so close. So close. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, so it's telling me that that was the cue ball again. I don't think so. I don't think so. Something is not right. And I intend to find out what it is. Ball num 0. Cue ball. That's what's expected. Ball num 7. Another ball num 7. That's suspicious. See that? How did I get 2 ball num 7s? How? How did that work? I'm gonna continue. This is supposed to only be called whenever I sink a ball. One time. Not 2. Let's see. It's just easier this way. There we go. I see what's going on here. So my ball nums are set to something that's not ball num right now. So in my ball class, get out of here first. I'll go back to my ball class. These are going to be my ball nums. And all I really need to do is just set my ball num to that instead. And that should actually do it. As simple as that is. A little step that I forgot. The only ball that not affected would be the cue ball. Oh, come on now. I'm trying to scratch it. There we go. I was trying to scratch it. Boom. Wasn't trying to do all that. Alright, come on now. Let's get that Banksy shot. Oh, what the heck was that? Not my fault. It's not like I made this game. Yeah, I would have never guessed that I had the wrong ball numbers. But it totally makes sense now. Yeah, I really want to fix the scaling too. Wonder how much of the game will improve once the scaling is fixed. I mean, that was just completely ridiculous. The key is to imagine it as a smaller circle that is on a higher plane. Or you can just drive it into the hole, go ball in hand, and have a great time. But that doesn't work for me a lot of the time. Come on, yeah. Did I mention I am not good at this game? I know what I need. Gotta clear the field a little bit. There we go. I don't know what that was, but I'll take it. Yeah, there's a collision wall detection, and if I'm facing this way, it should be ignored. Just a simple algorithm. That's terrible. Like, truly atrocious. Just knock them all out of the way. Alright, here we go, here we go. Boom. I mean, that does the job, huh? Let's go ahead and fix that ball in hand issue, huh? Edit game. Ball in hand needs to be set to true. That's what I think. Maybe not. Maybe there's something else I'm missing. Maybe init game. This is crazy. Needs to be after start game. Start game. No, that's not right. That is not right. That ain't right. I don't start out with ball in hand. I can just set it. Oh, I gotta go pretty soon. It's pretty much the end of the hour. Let's see, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Taking the longest we can to make the world's most basic game. Yes. That's correct. So here we have start game. What happens in start game? We got place cue ball, which sets ball in hand to true. And then I recall, if I recall correctly, handle input, which in some cases could set ball in hand to false. And if I disable this guy right here, the effect of it should be that I'll start ball in hand and I will never stop having ball in my hand. See? This simple logic is not good enough. If it's ball in hand, don't be ball in hand anymore. How? How is that not good enough? Well, one thing is the game being paused. That's a thing. That can be set to true. Yeah, so if game is paused by default and we're checking here, let's see, self ball's moving. That's a good one, I think, but it's not really what we're interested here. We just want self.paused. Right? Game paused is what we're interested in. And then over on main, and I'll start. That's when we're actually going to unpause the game, and it will remain paused until we call start game. Once we're started, we're not paused anymore, right? I think that's fair to say. But still, it's not working. We also have a return here where if we are game paused, it should be returning. We're able to get past that and go into game paused, setting ball in hand. That's happening right here for sure. Shouldn't be getting past here. But I'm guessing that the start game is happening immediately. The sequencing of that might matter pretty hard. Might matter pretty hard. We want to see a ball in hand there. And we do not see it. That means this is still happening. Left mouse up. Take a look at begin charge hit. Yeah, that's not doing it. Now this is interesting. Oh, yeah. Don't you love Python? I wouldn't be surprised if this is messing me up, actually. Well, at least it's not that. Or at least it's not that simple. Curious about what these variables are going to print as at this point. Yeah, that works for me. False, true, false. Okay, so if it's false, true, false, great. Now we got false, false, true. That true right there should mean that we can move the thing around. So the problem is not here. Ball in hand is functioning perfectly right here. This is not the place to be moving stuff around. On main though, we have something for ball in hand. And if it's ball in hand, then we call move cue ball. But before that, we're calling is game over and returning. Let's just not return there. Alright, so we're good with, as in, you know, we have that ball in hand, as in the ball is in our hand. I think we can safely discard these. And these returns, yeah, I think they're good. I think it's good to have those returns there. That's completely fine. Is game over? We need that. I like not having so much noise. Need that. And definitely need that. That's quintessential game logic. Alright, so we have our ball in our hand. Can we escape our way out of this state? Can we literally escape out by pressing the escape key? Can we press... No. We're in a bad way. What did we do? Oh, so close. All right, that's with the stash. Let's restore the stash. We're starting with game pause set to true. And then when we call start game, that's where we're supposed to be. Setting pause to not true. I don't see that happening though. That's one problem. And if I could guess, I'd say that we're gonna now lose out on the ball in hand feature. Right. And that makes sense. Two are at odds. When the game is not paused, Something is happening. It's right here. Oh, back over here on main. When we're doing the input. Should be checking that, but apparently that is getting set to true too quickly. Let's see if that additional condition will. What happened? Oh, we don't have billiards here. It's gonna be something we're already checking on that side anyway. Right? Game paused is something that we have there. So if we handle it, if we handle the input on this side, we're already checking the game paused. And we're returning if it's set to true. Which it is set to true until start game is called. And only at the end is it set to false. In theory, after all this stuff has been done, but it seems to be like some kind of sort of asynchronous operation, right? I mean, can I prove that? It should be the last thing that I read and start game after all the models have loaded. And as you can see, there it is, printed right in its correct order. Exactly where it should be. It's insane that this, the ball in hand function, this one here, it's insane that it's able to set the variable. So it says the ball in hand is set to true. Well, not anymore. I just hit it. So if it's set to true and I still can't move it, then maybe it's something else. And it's something on main, I'd imagine. When the game is being init, it should be ball in hand true. Until I click the mouse. Then it's ball in hand false. The ball is placed. Where's that at? 255. No, Control G 255. That should be true, or that should work correctly. So when I have my ball in hand set to true, interesting. I saw what happened there. So this will give me an error, huh? In my cue ball function, huh? Oh, should place cue ball be a non-deterministic function? Yeah, it's a good idea. Trying to think of what I can do with that. Can I just return that? Let's do something hacky. Does it want that to be? Indict. Dictionary. Oh man. Okay, well. Null what? Null cue ball. So what class? There we go. We'll just pass all that stuff. Oh, that's annoying the way that I've done this. Yeah, a null cue ball. If you've ever heard of such a thing. Does technically work. See what happens here. Still ball in hand here. Still working nicely. Nice enough though. Not totally nice. So the cue ball is not being updated in position because what's going on in move cue ball. Moving cue ball until we click start. Then I called moving cue ball one last time, and then I think on mouse up, it didn't really didn't like that. I'm tired. Kind of just want to move this. Get to wrap that in that. Could be dangerous. The desire is to get the ball in hand like that. I can't even. It takes skill to be this bad. It really does. Oh well, that's not my fault. It was in the wall. 3D model is not. Yeah, you know what? I'll work on that next. Now we fixed the init ball in hand, so let's figure out what was wrong. Good old prognosis. There's a lot that I fixed. Alright, so only when we're charging hit are we going to end the charge hit. And then we moved. Actually, we didn't do anything with it. It's pretty much the only thing we did with the hit. Various fixes. And we'll figure out what happened later. Keep this moving. Let's draw a line where the ball's going to go. So on the billiards class, we'll call Def, project hit. Yeah, pass. That's a good idea. So I think that we use camera forward for drawing a line. I think I'm not going to do this right now. Printing the proper message when we lose the game is probably a good thing. Have we made the greatest pool game ever? No. No, we haven't. What is it missing? Right now, I think that the biggest thing that it's missing is the scale of the balls. The balls are at 75% right now. In terms of scale. So if I take this scale that is on this ball class and I incorporate that in the physics, in the collision detection, adjust position for scale or something like that. See what we have. The only thing that we're comparing is entity 1 and entity 2. And here we have a variable called scale. Scale X. But that's not right. We only have one scale because it scales evenly. And it's a single number. And the scale that we're using is right here. So if instead of using scale underscore X, which I don't know where the hell that came from, use the actual scale. Just there in the correction. Just in the correction. Let's see what that has to do. How that affects our physics. Did I just fix all of the physics? No. Let's see what this actually is, though. And see how far off we actually are. Print. Entity 1. Scale X. And it's got entity 2 scale as well. Should only be when a collision happens. Or when a ball is moving. Scale X is returning as 0.75, as it should, interestingly enough. If I had to give it a guess as to what's going on, I'd say that our position is off. Or something. I don't know, man. The position correction right here should incorporate scale right here. Or maybe calculate the relative velocity in terms of the normal direction. Do not resolve if velocities are separating. Calculate restitution elasticity coefficient. Use a minimum for the collision. And that's if they have differing elasticities. This will use the minimum elasticity. Fair enough. Calculate the impulse scalar. All fine. All well and good. This, however, is the problem. This doesn't incorporate scale. And that sucks. If it intersects this other entity, let's look at the Ursina documentation and see what we can see about entity. Is the scale getting to the parent? Is that the entire... Hey, Prash, how you doing? It's nice to see you. Is the scale getting to the parent? Because that might be what I'm experiencing. Yes. Yes. Where did I put that other print? I wonder. I don't see it. I must have gotten rid of it. What about Devin? Oh, this guy earlier, Biscuit, he was saying that, was asking about Devin, and I told him that it's all hype. Just like every single other thing that we've ever heard about quote unquote AI, which is not really AI. Generative transformers are not AI. So it doesn't like that as a scale. Instead, it wants a Vec3, I'm sure. And I'm just lazy. Go to pass in self.scale 3 times. They clearly said AI software engineer. Yes. They clearly say a lot of things. And a lot of people listen very clearly. But you don't need to. Because it just matters what you see with your own eyes. Okay. So it wants the entire thing to be Vec3. And it can be. But I'm worried, has it not been a scale the entire time? If I just remove the scale, what happens? I'm pretty sure it does work with a scale. Tips about tutorial hell. I recommend doing a little bit of coding every day. That's what I'm doing. Except this has turned into a lot more coding. Maybe I shouldn't be so obsessive. Tutorial hell. I should make a video on tutorial hell, huh? Is that something that you struggle with? Being in tutorial hell? It's a fear of getting started, really. And it's just, you gotta just kind of blindly do things sometimes. Oh, I forgot I took the scale off the balls. So now they're bigger. Okay, I see. They do appear to be working more like correct, even though they are kind of buried in the table a little bit. Oh, and there's that. Oh yeah, they're buried in front of each other and all inside of each other. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. We can add it, for sure. I'd say we can add whatever we want. And get that pretty soon. Something that I'm pretty familiar with. Alright. What do you say? Do you think that we made the best pool game ever? I don't. I think there's plenty that can be done with it. Now, see if I have any other scaling attributes. Just that there. What about on physics entity? floor collision. Yeah, I think that's correct, actually. This makes it not protrude from the floor, but that's not really the problem of this. I think my ground level is set on table here. If I just inch that up slightly, I think that'll look a little bit less weird. Yeah, it's probably going to be a short video, really, because it's a short answer. The short answer is that the way to get out of tutorial hell is by doing programming. And it's unsatisfying when you're starting out because one underrated part of learning is reward. You have to have a reward for learning. You know, once you learn how to do a lot of cool things, you can do a lot of cool things, and that's a cool reward. But when you're first starting out, you're low reward. So try to be easier on yourself and allow yourself for lower value rewards. Treat them as if they're higher value rewards. There's some scaling attributes there, but that's not really what I'm worried about. If I want to scale my balls, I think I can do so safely right here. And have that reflected later on. Let's see how small they get. They're teeny tiny, little teeny balls. Little teeny balls. Oops. Gotta hit them harder than that. Rah. There we go. You know, they're still going inside of one another. Collision detection is just... Should be adjusting the position via the physics engine. Yeah, you're welcome, Prosh. I appreciate you and everything. It's always fun having you in the streams. Alright. Gotta go soon. Make sure I'm still working with the right scale here. What is all that? I just want to know the scale. I mean, why would we be dividing it by 2? I don't know. At least it would be proportional to the scale. Inversely proportional to the scale, to be fair. I don't see any prints, but I don't have any collisions. None whatsoever. Let's get some. Pachow. I see, we're printing the wrong thing. Not self. Self is not what we wanted. We wanted entity 1. Alright, let's see. Alright, what did we get in the console? Alright, so we're printing lots of 0.5s, which is what we want. And if we divide 0.5 by 2, then we get 4. No, wait. If we divide 0.5 by 2, we get 1. And 1 plus 1 equals 2. Correction. What if the position is not adjusted in that sense? What if it is assigned? How bombastic is that change gonna be? So bombastic that you can't even tell what's going on. Yeah, that's not the right behavior at all. And I'm just curious, if I take the scale X and I don't divide it by 2, or perhaps I divide it by 4. Oops, hold on. That's what I'm really curious about. Oh, what's up, Alfie? I didn't see you there, dude. Doesn't tell me what time you joined in. The heck? Where's my print? There we go. What happens to the physics when we do this? Start. Oh, Jesus. This right here is the bad part. Do-do. I think that it doesn't matter what I set the scale to. If the 3D model is greater than 1, let's just say real quick that if the 3D model is greater than 1, then we assume that our actual scale is just adjusted by some kind of coefficient. What coefficient would that be? Let's set it to something kind of crazy. 2. 2 is kind of insane. So this is ADJ scale X. And then put the rest of this back, pretty much. Take that. And instead of these, ADJ scale x divided by 2. Which is our adjusted scale. Which will either make our hitbox too big or too small. I think it'll make it too small. We'll figure that out. We have ways of figuring it out. Alright, that's not the right thing. Not the right thing to do. I realize, because it's actually not there. But it's the right spirit. You know what I mean? It's the right spirit. Hitbox.scale. Does hitbox really have a... Is there a hitbox on entity? No, it's called Collider. I don't think there's anywhere where it's Collider scale. Alright, this is all about the collision detection. And the collider that I'm using is sphere. So should we be changing the radius of the sphere collider? I mean, it's not a bad idea. Sphere collider. E. It's an entity. And in this case, it's self, because we are the entity. Sphere collider is not defined. So far so good. I'm not seeing balls going inside of one another. As far as the scale of the balls, I think 0.8 was the magic number. .8. And so now that we've set the scale of the collider, let's see how our balls are behaving. If our scale is 0.8, then our ground level should be 0.2. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, I'd say that's a win for the physics. Let's see, do we have any balls intersecting with one another? No. The collider seems to correspond with the actual radius of the ball. That's good. Now that's a different story, and I'll get to that next time, but that's a super big win for the physics. Proper colliders. Score 1 for physics. Ball in hand to celebrate. Oh, I can't move. Oh man, the collider's so big that I can't move past it. Got a big collider, what can I say? Is this the greatest pool game ever? No, not yet. But I did just fix the physics in a big way, I think. I'd like to see if it's possible, it doesn't seem to be, for the balls to go inside of one another. And it seems pretty snappy, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I want to fix real quick is the ground level for the ball. And that's an easy one to fix, because I'm setting the ground level right here. Should be able to just raise it up a little bit. Verax HC, thank you for your wonderful comment. 80s is definitely the vibe we're going for here. Billiards is a pretty 80s game, I guess. It's also a pretty every other generation game when you think about it. Alright, my balls are looking pretty good. No doubt. I'd say they're behaving better than I've ever seen them behave before. Is this the best billiards game ever? What do you think? Verax HC, is this the best billiards game ever? And no on the 80s question. I'd say it still needs to come up out of the floor. It won't be the best until it comes up out of the floor, at least. Stop dicking around. Whoever says this is not the best pool game ever was born in the 2000s. Well, you could be born in the year 2000 and still have some sense. It's possible. Alright, so 0.6 was too high. And also we were met with the fact that we don't have gravity. Yeah, do we like that? If I could just let the player go up and down and hit the balls with zero gravity. Yeah. I think you might be right. Let's see. Let's see if we can... There we go. And then make it to where I can just go up there. And I gotta get those balls. I can still hit that, I think. No, I can't, actually. Yeah, they still have... I'd have to wait a long time before I could hit that. Alright, let's bring those balls down. Alright, better. But we're still melding into the ground. At point 6, we were going into another dimension. At point 5, will we do the same? And also, why is any of this happening in the first place? That's cool. I like seeing the parallax effect of the background. The balls floating there. Even though I did not mean for that to happen at all. It's just a side effect. Alright, nonetheless. 0.5. 0.4. It's all going to be too big. It's all going to be too tall. Ground level needs to be 0. And we can see that when the ground level is 0, it's probably going to consume the balls, predictably. Best programming language. For me, I would say C++ has been my favorite so far, believe it or not. But this is Python, and it's the quickest programming language. And we're sucked into the floor a little bit. And quick is what I was going for, because I don't know much about games. The Mojo Lang. No, I'm not familiar with Mojo. Python, I did some Python in college. And, yeah, Python, pretty easy to get going with Python. A superset of Python. I think I have heard something about that. It's like a bunch of cool, it's like an extension of Python. No problem with that. Python's great because you can get going quick, if I didn't already mention that. But it has its limitations. One thing that I can't stand in Python is how you're supposed to inherit between two classes, how you're supposed to exchange that. Maybe it's something that I am just unfamiliar. Composition versus inheritance. It is a object-oriented programming language. It purports to be, I think. Yeah, you can do object-oriented or composition, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I had to do a major object-oriented overhaul in this very project because it was just so confusing on my fragile little brain. And my software dev, yeah, that's what I am by trade. Actually, yeah, I need to get back to my job pretty soon here. I'm a software engineer by trade, not necessarily a game engineer. I've actually only been doing games for a week now. Maybe less. It's probably been less. I've just been streaming it every day. Yep. Let's see. Proudest piece of code. My proudest piece of code is the first time I successfully used recursion, which was before ChatGPT. For my last job, I had to make a list keywords generator where it was going to say, like, they would have sources of lists of words, and it would rearrange them in all these different ways. And long and short of it is, it had to call itself until it was finished because the arrays were not fixed length. And so I used recursion to solve that problem. That's the proudest piece of code that I've ever written. The one that I'm most proud of. Recursion. It's one of those concepts that's simple, yet difficult to understand. Oh. I lost. I lost. You know, actually, you can still get that feeling nowadays with ChatGPT. I mean, you can either do that better. I mean, ChatGPT has a problem with context a lot of the time. And, you know, particularly like with this, if I want to make a game, we can make a game and then I can add on to it, but it's got to be arranged in such a way that I can add on to it. And with a quote-unquote AI, a lot of the time, it's difficult to lead it along the path of a fully developed piece of software. You have to really kind of know what you're doing from the start, despite what it says. Because, you know, you might not ask for the right thing. You might say too much. You're supposed to say less when you're doing generative transformers. You're supposed to prompt it with less. Less is more. Alright, so we're buried in the dirt. More accurately, the table. And what we need to do is we need to take these objects, which are the tabletop and the table itself. One of them will just have to inch its way down one of the dimensions, and I think it's going to be the Y. And we can just try to set this to 4-4 and see what happens. I'm betting that the pool felt will actually just disappear. And it looks like it has disappeared completely. Yeah, see, now all we have is the cherry wood, which is blue. It's interesting right there. And I'm not sure, do the balls still look like they're buried in the ground there? Yeah. Still not good. So on top of that, we still have to change the ground level. Try 4. And I'll deal with that later. I just have to drop the table. Yeah. It's a shame how much they let hype run rampant nowadays, you know. Hype is an unchecked force. And it's a powerful force, and it's a deceiving force. Don't let yourself be deceived by BS hype. Alright, let's see. Those balls don't look any It doesn't matter. All I need to do is lower the position of this object here. Wait, is that what I already did? I think that's what I already just did. They're both right here. This pool table should be 0.4. And this should be slightly higher, 0.35. Well, let's change this one to 4.5 and this one to 4. They're very incremental. Ground level's not defined. More like ground beef. I'm not sure if I need to set that or not. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't make a damn bit of difference. Alright, there it is. Just a matter of dropping the table a little bit. Let's say we can go with dropping it even a little bit more. Let's take it down another 0.5. 0.9 there. Wait, what? Well, they're only offset by a 0.5. Okay, that's cool. Negative 0.5, or negative 5. 4.95. Let's see how you like that. Wait, what happened? Oh, that's the wrong file. I feel higher. Taller. Oh my god. Alright, so that a little bit too high there. But that's good. It's good to know where the limit is, so to speak. Alright, 5 and 4.5. I hate the guessing. I really hate the guessing. It is what it is, I suppose. That's pretty good right there. Maybe it needs to be notched back just a hair. And that'll be like the only thing that I do there. The hitbox is working a lot better, which is the most important thing that I think I've done. What do you think? Before I started doing this, I mentioned that there's one more thing that's really separating it from being the best pool game ever in terms of how it feels to play. And that was a major one. When you are expecting something to happen in a game like this, it really should be happening. It should really be a precision game. Otherwise, how can you play for real? That's right. Dang. It's like playing your baby. It's like playing a baby of mine. Whatever that means. Alright. I think that's all for streaming. I'll be back on Monday. Or actually, I won't. Monday, I've got jury duty. So I will not be back on Monday. So I will see you another time. Possibly Monday in the morning. Possibly sometime of the weekend. I don't know. Keep an eye out. And I'll see you whenever I see you. Thanks for joining. All right, peace.